morning.
Good morning.
Well, I must confess I have no clue where we're going with this one. But we're going, so get ready. This is conscious co-creation. That's what we are about as truth students. Yeah. We've been working with David Owen's Keys to the Kingdom. We've been working with the keys around the spiritual law of circulation. We've been working around forgiveness. We've been working with and around holding the vision for ourselves. And you may remember early on we said your vision, you will never get beyond your vision for yourself. That is the highest you will get. So why not put ourselves busy into creating a higher vision all the time? So as we move forward this morning, this is one of my very favorite lessons. And it comes at a time in our world when you may say, oh boy, I don't know about this one. And this is about gratitude. It's about counting the many blessings in our lives. And it talks about gratitude, and that's what we're going to co-create here this morning, as more than an attitude. You know, we're all famous for saying, an attitude of gratitude. I've parroted that one myself. This goes beyond that. This goes beyond and to a greater understanding within ourselves that we truly are co-creators of our world. And so, if you are a co-creator with spirit in your world, what better things to concentrate and focus on than gratitude? Gratitude is a power. Gratitude is a force. Gratitude is an attitude, but that's in its smaller manifestation. When we co-create with spirit in what we are going to call this morning proactive gratitude, then we are working with a very powerful force within ourselves from spirit. And when we use that very powerful force, we are creating a higher level of consciousness, and we are doing it with gratitude. And gratitude proactively is an application of the spiritual law. And here it is, and I'm going to read this to you. That which you focus and dwell upon with a feeling of love and gratitude, you will tend to multiply and attract. How often do we think that gratitude is a simple thank you? Gratitude is a simple thank you, but gratitude has much more in its power when we put the energy behind our thoughts of gratitude. And what is that energy? It's our feelings, it's our passion, it's our creativity. It's when we say here in Unity, we said it this morning, our thoughts are prayers. Yes, absolutely. If you align those thoughts with your feelings, then you are working co-creative proactively in an attitude of gratitude for all the abundance in your lives. And some of you may be sitting there saying, oh, I don't know that I can get to that level of gratitude. Well, that's our work, or part of it anyway. It's when we consciously co-create with spirit. We don't stand around saying, life happens to me. We pick up and we say, life happens through me. And when we allow life to happen through us, with the creative force of thoughts and feelings aligned in a state of proactive gratitude, not a thank you, you're welcome, but a praise God, I'm glad for all I have in my life, and I'm going to tell you ad nauseum, and I'm going to share with you till it hurts. Now that's me being Sandy, and I'm bringing it, but you see the difference in the attitude? Oh, thank you, that was so nice of you. Thank you, I am really grateful. Now some of you will say, oh please, we can't be doing that 24/7, and my answer to you is why not? Why not? Because what you are doing is putting that energy of feeling, of passion, of creativity, with your thoughtful idea of gratitude, and you are being proactive with it. You are causing energy to move through you into your world, which goes to the spiritual law. That which you focus and dwell upon with a feeling of love and gratitude, you will tend to multiply and attract. Now, if you want the benefit from that, and many of us like to see the benefit of that, well, think about it. If you are busy being proactively in gratitude to others, others are going to feel that, and they, on some level, will return it. Whether it's back to you or not, we don't always know, but I suspect that it is. It just shows up in the return that might look differently than what you expected. But you can't miss with this particular spiritual law if you work it. And see, very often we think that spiritual law, well, it's a good study. I like to study spiritual law, but we don't work the law. We don't live by the law. And we've talked about this throughout this series, that when we are conscious co-creators, we are living in alignment and utilizing the laws of spirit, the principles of life, as David Owen Ritz calls it. Now some, if you would like a quick history lesson on this, and I like David when he does this, he likens this idea of proactive gratitude to discovering the joy when you first come into new thought. Do you remember the first time that you darkened a door at Unity, say, or a New Thought church? Do you remember when you started to get, wow, this stuff resonates with what I already feel and know innately. I've intuited this for years, but these people really talk about it. Well, these people, meaning us, New Thought, we had many, many before us that espoused this kind of concept, idea, thinking. And so just to give you kind of a taste, David goes through the following. He says, let's look at some of the more notable expressions going through the ages. And this is from the Bible. All things are possible to him that believeth. According to your faith, it will be done to you. And from the Dhammapada, some of you may know this is the scripture for Buddhists. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. And from the Tao Te Ching, or the book of how things work, which is a central text of Taoism, written by Lao Tzu. The teaching is, the single principle can be found everywhere, all the time. Everything works according to it. By knowing Tao, I know how things happen. And this, for those of you who I know study Course in Miracles, because of your likeness to your Creator, you are creative. These are spiritual truths that have been passed down for millennia. And about 200 years ago, just prior to 200 years ago, we had the Transcendental Movement, and that was Thoreau and Emerson, among others. And then the New Thought came right after that for the last 150 years. And this from Charles Fillmore, our very own. God's greatest gift to man is the power of thought, through which he can incorporate into his consciousness the mind of God. Truth, or the mind of God, is the most powerful force on earth. Every circumstance or condition in your life that has been created by a false belief can be healed and transformed by the awareness of the truth. The healing power of truth is a central New Thought theme. Now, you say, got this, very interesting. Where were we going with gratitude? Gratitude, proactively, is the application of the truth that we know, and that is the awareness of truth is a great healing power. And when you take your feelings and emotions, you contain that great power, and you make experiences in your life very powerful, but also channels through which Spirit is working through you. When you align the power of your creative feelings and your creative thoughts, you have set yourself up to be a channel, a vessel for the truth of God flowing in and through you. And when you apply gratitude as you align yourself, proactive gratitude, you have then multiplied the good that will be coming to you and the good that you are expending to others. I'd like you to think today as gratitude as a power, as a powerful energy. And remember, when you say thank you or you're welcome, give it the creative energy, the power of gratitude, and not a lip service kind of a gratitude. And some of you will say, okay, I think I've got that. I think I understand that when I focus with love and gratitude, that what I focus on will multiply, and it will be returned to me. So just how, in fact, do you propose I do that? Is it like Rev Sandy just did, you know, with a rah, come at it full force? Yes, but not all of us are like that. So there are 4 steps that David has come up with for proactive gratitude. They're real simple. I don't know that you have to write them down. I didn't put them in the bulletin this week. You'll know them, but here's the energy behind it. Principle number 1 is become conscious of the good in your life. Now think about this. Are you conscious of the good in your life? 90%, or at least this is David's thinking, of the good in our life is wonderful. It's incredible. We are so blessed, but we tend to focus on the 10% that's wrong. And we give that the energy. What happens when you give negativity energy? The same law applies. You get it back full fold. It multiplies. You focused on it, and it's coming right at you. Why we do that, I don't know, but we do it. So part of proactive gratitude is at least being mindful that we're doing it. Be conscious of the good in your life. And be fully conscious. Be conscious with your heart and not just your head. You know, I can sit down with a laundry list of the things that I'm grateful for. And sometimes when I'm in a real pinch, like I am spiraling big time, I'll spit out my laundry list of blessings. But there's no energy around it, really. It's almost as though it's doing an affirmation. It doesn't really mean anything, but somebody told you if you do affirmations, that's a good thing. Well, not if there's no heart or creativity in it. Put the heart in. Put the heart in being aware of the goodness of your life, and that means being conscious of it. He says here, this may not be easy at first, but perhaps you are so used to taking the good stuff for granted, but consciously setting your intention will gradually open up your awareness. Before long, you will be amazed at how much you are overlooking. You remember earlier on we talked about the 5 areas of life that we could apply these principles to? Take your conscious awareness of the blessings in your life and smack them up against each one of those 5 areas. Can you know and understand and be aware in all of the 5 areas? Is that what we, yes, those 5 areas. Look at them. Can you declare with certainty the blessings in each of those areas? Or does your mind want to skip a beat and say, yeah, but I got this one thing. You see, that's part of the first step of proactive gratitude. Be proactively conscious of the good in your life. 2, praise the good in your life. And this is being grateful. It gives, as he says here, it gives way to doing grateful. When you practice praise and you praise the good in your life, you actually praise it. You tell people, I have a good life, and here is why. And if someone says to you, well, isn't that nice? I don't have such a great life. Keep talking. Keep focusing with love and gratitude on the many blessings that you have in your life. So it's awareness, and it's doing grateful, not just being grateful. Change the way you think and talk about your life. Resist the temptation to minimize your accomplishments. Now, I underlined this one because this is a beauty. You see, when you praise consciously the good in your life, you're praising also yourself. And very often we like to minimize our accomplishments. Do you understand that the fact you're sitting in these seats, that you have come a long way? And who am I to say that to you? I'm here to speak a co-created message with you. When you first started out in New Thought, in Unity, think about that. Think about where you were in your thinking, in your doing, in your being in life, and think about where you are today, sitting in these seats, and give yourself an awareness of the praise of God. If your eyes are not freer, better for this journey that you have come, no matter where each of you is in the journey, then take a look at that. But I say to you, give yourself the credit for being in these seats. I had a lady come up to me after I said that one Sunday, and she said, I'll give myself credit for being here. I could have been in bed. So you see where she was coming from. She was very honest about the whole thing. The point is, you have gone on a journey. You're still on the journey. We all are. And I say to you, be aware of that. Give yourself credit for that. And stop taking your accomplishments and minimizing them. If you have accomplishments in your life, sing them out. Sing them out. Do not minimize them. How many times have you been asked, well, what have you done? Well, who are you? What is your profession? Or how are you in life? Oh, well, I've done this and I've done that. Oh. Bupkis, there's nothing there. There's no gratitude. There's no proactivity. There's nothing of life happening through you when you do that. You're just letting life happen to you. Principle 3, share your good with others. And this one brings us to you have more than enough to go around. And this can be difficult, especially if you're in a place where you don't think you have enough. Not going to be able to make the next pay or bill. Not going to do this. Don't have this. I don't have someone in my life. Pick an area. Pick one of the 5. And when you do that, when you say, I don't have enough, you are not in a state of proactive gratitude. You're in a lack consciousness. And this whole series has been about abundance, about being in a state of abundance and knowing that. So be careful when you look around. Be careful when you look around in your life and you say, I don't know, I don't think I have enough. I better be careful, I better be safe. I didn't say don't be wise. I said, when you say I'm not safe, I don't feel safe, there's a difference. That indicates that you don't feel you have enough. There's not enough to go around. And when we feel there's not enough to go around, we don't share our abundance with others. I ask you today to look for opportunities to share your abundance with others. Remember, what you focus on with love and gratitude has that ripple effect and will come back to you tenfold. Look for opportunities to serve other folks. Look for opportunities to share your time, your talent, and your treasures. And David even goes so far to say this, and I hesitated to read this to you, but he says, if you help other people get what they want out of life, you'll get what you want. That's the way the spiritual law works. Yes, it's the way the spiritual law works, but remember, we don't help other people because we're looking for the get back. We help other people because the spiritual law and our creative energy of proactive gratitude wants to help other people, not looking for the comeback. But it's coming because that's the spiritual law. And you can choose to believe that or not. The law will stand. And then principle 4 of this proactive gratitude is look for the good even in the negative. And folks, we do have an awful lot in our world these days that appears to be horrific at best. And what the law says is look for the blessing. Always look for the blessing. It's there. And sometimes in the worst happenings are the greatest blessings, the biggest gifts. You know that from your own life. It can be difficult. No one is saying this is easy. I tell this story, and David Owen Ritz tells it too. Emma Curtis Hopkins, who some of you are familiar with, who was a New Thought teacher, writer, she would say, with deep conviction that ultimately everything in life is there to serve you. Everything in your life is there to serve you. Everything and everyone. Emma, in her own way, if you've ever seen any or read anything of Emma or heard about her, you know. She had this statement she would say when it was difficult to see the good in what appeared to be not so good. She would say, "This too is good. This too is God. This is for me, and I demand to see the blessing." And the kicker for Emma was, she would put her hands on her hips, "And I demand to see the blessing." So as we close out here, I'd like us to say this, and I don't care whether you put your hands on your hips, but get some energy with it, make it proactive, and so together, this too is good.
This too is good.
This too is God.
This too is God.
This is for me.
This is for me.
And I demand to see the blessing.
And I demand to see the blessing.
And so it is, and so we let it be.